Attention passionate Chicago, Bears fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Chicago Bears' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Chicago Bears fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Chicago Bears fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. You know I love bringing you the latest and most exciting updates about the Chicago Bears. And today, we've got something that might just shake up the entire NFC North. It involves a player who's been making waves not just in Buffalo but could potentially land in Chicago, and that's none other than James Cook, the Bills' rising star at running back. But before I dive into all the details, let's set the scene, because this story isn't just about one player, it's about a possible shift in power, a move that could redefine how the Bears approach their roster, especially on offense. James Cook, as many of you know, had an incredible breakout season last year. He ran for over 10 yards, specifically 9 yards, and scored 16 touchdowns, which is by far the best of his career. That kind of production makes him one of the most appealing backs in the league right now, and it's no surprise that he's looking to cash in with a top-tier salary. But what's interesting is that despite such a strong season, Cook and the Bills haven't been able to come to an agreement on a new contract. Now, he's currently at practice, but he's not participating. The buzz around the league is that this could eventually lead to a trade, and that's where things get really intriguing for Chicago. You see, the Bears are in a position where they could very well benefit from adding a player like Cook. They've been looking to bolster their running game for a while now, and giving quarterback Justin Fields another weapon in the backfield could be exactly what they need to take that next step. Especially considering the fact that the Bears have been working on improving their offense, giving Fields more options, more explosiveness, and more consistency on the ground. You all remember how much of a difference a dynamic running back can make, and Cook, with his ability to break tackles and gain yards after contact, could be a perfect fit. In recent discussions and speculations, Newsweek even floated the idea that Chicago could pursue a trade for Cook. And it's not just idle talk. Evan Massey pointed out that Cook is another player who hasn't received a new contract from Buffalo, and with his recent surge, he's garnered interest from multiple teams. The Bills, of course, are in a tricky position. They might want to keep him, but if they decide to trade him, the market will be very competitive. According to Massey, potential destinations include the Bears, the Dallas Cowboys, Washington Commanders, and Houston Texans, among others. But for Chicago, it's about weighing the hefty price tag that comes with acquiring a player of Cook's caliber. Now, let's talk about what this could mean for the Bears' offense. Giving Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator, another legitimate weapon would be a game-changer. Johnson has been doing a pretty good job of developing Justin Fields, but adding a back like Cook would elevate their ground game significantly. It's no secret that Chicago's rushing attack has room for improvement, and with Cook's ability to run with power and agility, he could help balance the offense, making it more unpredictable and dangerous for defenses. But of course, nothing is that simple. The contract situation is a key factor here. Cook has been very vocal about wanting to be paid like one of the NFL's top running backs. Last season, he ran for 9 yards and 16 touchdowns on just 207 carries, averaging nearly 5 yards per rush. That's production that teams covet, and naturally, he's looking for compensation that reflects his value. The problem is, running back contracts aren't as lucrative as they used to be, and teams tend to be hesitant to give big money to that position. That said, Cook's performance last year puts him in a different category, and teams that need a boost in their backfield will definitely have interest if Buffalo makes him available. Over the weekend, Cook's situation became even more interesting. He initially expressed a desire to participate in practice, which is what you'd expect from a professional trying to show his commitment. But then, suddenly, he was absent from practice, citing business reasons. That kind of vague response sparked plenty of speculation. Buffalo's general manager Brandon Beane mentioned that they weren't fully aware of Cook's absence until just before practice, which suggests there might be some behind-the-scenes negotiations or issues at play. Cook's camp remains non-committal about his future, and that uncertainty only fuels the rumors of a potential trade. What's particularly noteworthy for Bears fans is that this isn't just about a player wanting a new deal. It's about a team weighing options to improve their roster. The Bears, under head coach Matt Eberflus and offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, have been building something promising, but they still need to add pieces that can push them over the edge. A player like Cook, who's young, talented, and eager to prove himself, could be exactly what Chicago needs to take that offensive leap. Now I know some of you might be thinking, well, what about the cost? How much would it take to get Cook? And that's a fair question. Running backs with his production usually come with a hefty price tag, especially considering his age and the fact that he's entering the prime of his career. The Bears will need to consider whether they're willing to pay that premium for production and potential. But remember, in today's NFL, having a reliable, explosive running back can open up so many options for the offense. Play-action passes, outside runs, screen plays, and that's exactly what Chicago needs to elevate their game. As we look ahead, the big question is whether the Bills will actually trade Cook, and if so, to which team. Buffalo has the leverage, obviously, but if they decide to move on, the Bears should be ready to pounce. They've shown they're willing to make bold moves this offseason, and adding a player like Cook could be the move that turns their season around. Imagine Fields with Cook in the backfield, creating mismatches and keeping defenses on their toes. That kind of dynamic duo could be a nightmare for opposing defenses in the NFC North and beyond. Now, let's not forget the context of this entire situation. The NFL is a league where timing and opportunity are everything. If the Bears can negotiate a fair deal, possibly involving draft picks or players, they could bring in Cook and immediately upgrade their offensive firepower. It's a move that could send a message to the entire league that Chicago is serious about competing, especially in a division that's become more competitive every year. The Lions are strong, the Packers are always lurking with their new quarterback, and the Vikings are rebuilding with a lot to prove. So, for Chicago, making a bold move now could be the difference between just competing and actually contending. And what about Cook himself? Well, he's at a crossroads. After his breakout season, he's clearly eager to be recognized as one of the top backs in the league. But he's also aware that his future depends on how things unfold with the Bills. If they decide to trade him, he'll have the chance to join a team that's looking to make a splash, like the Bears. If not, he might have to wait a little longer, but his talent and production won't be ignored for long. For Bears fans, this is exactly the kind of story you want to follow. It's about potential, opportunity, and the possibility of a game-changing addition. The team has been building steadily, but with the right move, like bringing in James Cook, they could take a significant step forward. Think about the possibilities: a revitalized rushing attack, more creative play calling, and a more balanced offense overall. That's what could be on the horizon if this situation unfolds positively for Chicago. So as we keep an eye on this story, remember that the NFL offseason is full of surprises. Trades, signings, cutdowns, and surprises happen all the time. But the fact that a player of Cook's caliber might be available is something every Bears fan should be paying attention to. It could be the move that propels Chicago to new heights, or at least gives them a much-needed boost heading into the next season. And now, Chicago Bears fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think the Bears should go all in and try to acquire James Cook? Would you be willing to pay the price for a player who could instantly upgrade your backfield? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Chicago Bears. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Chicago Bears news. This offseason is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in years, and I promise to keep you informed every step of the way. Thanks for watching, and as always, bear down.